Well, this turned out to be a really great day of detecting. Well, welcome to Finding America. It is really nice to see you here. Now, last week I got a question from a longtime subscriber to the channel, Buddy Henson. And he asked me if I'd been back to one of my old sites since I'd gotten my new Minelab Manticore. It's a field that sits right across the street from an old cemetery. And to this day, it's just an empty field. It doesn't look like much, but back in the day, it once served as a parking and picnic area during the late 1800s and well into the early 1900s. Well, Buddy got me thinking, and I realized I hadn't yet been back there with my new Manticore. And it's the kind of place that I really love, a place that I call a transitional site. A place where old horses and wagons parked next to shiny black Ford Model Ts, where Indian head pennies jingled against Lincoln Wheaties in people's pockets. It's a place where new rubber met old iron. Well, I have to say the weather is gorgeous. It's about 53 degrees and bright blue skies. Beautiful mountain view, and we had some rain, so the ground's kind of soft. Can't ask for much more. And I've spent about the first 20 minutes digging up nothing but junk. Lots of trash signals. Got a 33 here, and it was a nice repeatable signal about 4 inches down. It was in this plug, and I pulled it out, and it came out like this, and I thought maybe I'm not sure what I had, but when I flipped it over, I realized that I have a collar stud. This had been used to hold the paper collars together. Now, men and women wore them, and about 1870s until the 1930s, probably late 1800s, they first became stylish, and they finally fell out of fashion in the 1930s. But this one's pretty cool. It does have some writing on it. It actually says 14 karat and gold filled. And it has something else on it, but I just can't make it out. But part of it broke off, probably why it was lost. And that's a nice find, nice old find. Well, that's where I got the collar stud. And I filled that hole in and then moved my coil over and got a 50 to 54 signal. Nice and solid on the conductive line. I dug the plug and I saw it immediately. Unfortunately, it came out in 2 pieces, but that is an old iron fork with the old style tines. So very cool. And yeah, it definitely falls into my theory on this place, that it was a parking lot for the cemetery. But they also picnicked here. A lot of people would come and have picnics and then visit their loved ones in the cemetery. So finding a fork definitely fits that scenario. And hopefully there's still more to find here. Well, that's crazy. I got like a 39 signal, repeatable both ways. I was digging down, it said it was further down than the plug, and I reached in and I could feel the end of it, and I kind of knew what I had because I've dug so many of these. I'll give you one guess. What do you know? Railroad spike. I'll tell you that I don't complain about finding them. They're just a great piece of American history, in my mind. I think about the trains that rolled on the tracks and these things holding the tracks down, and it just, it was a remarkable time in American history. So I really enjoy finding these spikes, and it always gives me another excuse to share a very cool train picture. Well, just a few steps forward and I got a nice 22 signal here. Didn't know what to expect, but it was just a nice signal. I wanted to dig it. So I cut the plug. Said it was in the plug itself, so it was about 4 inches down. But check it out. It's a zipper pull, but it's definitely an oldie. It's definitely an old style zipper pull. So I thought I'd film it, share it with y'all, and yeah, it's just one of those quirky little finds that I like. Alright, I'm just going to show it to you. Give me a 39, about 4 inches down. Yeah, I sure hope you guys aren't getting tired of those train pictures. Well, I just got done with my first row this way. I'm heading back that way. And first good target was giving me, let's see, what was this one giving me? 58? Yep. 58 repeatable. And I dug down. This is something that I find a lot of at this location. Old valve stems. And that looks like it's a long one. It's going to be for like a Model T era car. Probably a wood spoke. And always love finding them because you know you're in the right spot, a nice old area. I found a lot of these. I pulled a lot of Indian heads. That was the two dominant targets at this location, and I'm hoping I might get an Indian head sometime today, but I'm happy with this. Well, once again, we have multiple mysteries solved this week, thanks to all of you watching last week. You might recall the strange fused together find that I found in last week's episode. Well, this was a tough one, but not for Randy Cowles and Jefferson Bacon, who quickly let me know that what I'd found were a couple of terminals or contacts that were once part of a 66 punch down block, and these were used when wiring telephone systems. And you might recall the very cool looking piece of iron that I dug up in last week's episode as well. Well, a lot of you helped out on this one, and the very first to do so in the comments were Mike from Metal Detecting NC and Jay Gordon, who both let me know that what I'd found was a very old baitcaster fishing reel. And finally, you might remember the very strange little piece of iron that I also dug up last week. Well, while I may have been stumped on this one, Dirt Floor Motors came through again this week, and he certainly wasn't stumped. He quickly let me know that what I'd found was an old hood latch to a Ford Model T. So a huge thank you goes out to Randy Cowles, Jefferson Bacon, Metal Detecting NC, Jay Gordon, and Dirt Floor Motors, and everyone else that helped make last week's mystery finds this week's mystery solved. I was getting a really solid 45-46 signal, not too deep, about 4 inches. I cut the plug and I saw something in the hole, and I don't know, this is kind of interesting. Check this out. Now it's got a bolt on the back that I believe is threaded. I don't know if that's like a pedal. I'm not quite sure. It's very cool though. Definitely an oldie. It was chrome plated. So I don't know if that was like a brake pedal or gas pedal, some old vehicle, or not quite sure, but it's definitely interesting. I was getting a solid 49 signal And I dug down and dug down, and finally I felt it. And it definitely fits in just with my theory on this spot being a picnic area and a parking area. Check this out. That is an iron spoon to go with my iron fork. Isn't that something? Still hanging in there, but yeah, that's pretty amazing. So early 1900s, late 1800s, and yeah, fork, spoon. Maybe there's a knife out here somewhere. Found something else pretty cool. Give me a low 40 signal. And of course, this cemetery was built just after the Civil War, about 1870, 1880s, I believe. And of course, before the Model T, they would have come up and parked in this field as well, because it's right across the street from the main gate. And of course, they would have been pulling buggies and wagons with their horses. And I just got what looks to be a horseshoe. I finally got it broken loose enough for me to pull it out, so I grabbed the camera. Yep, check that out. There you go. That is all right. Boy, it is really neat when you can find all these things, and it helps build a picture of what happened in this area. And it's just awesome. I love it. Every time you pull something out of the ground, you're just touching history. Well, this one's giving me a nice 29 to 31 on my screen. And yeah, it's just a nice old piece. Little 12 gauge Peters target round head stamp for a shotgun. And definitely like that. That's going to be an early one. Early 1900s to 1930s, right in there somewhere. I'll have to look it up, but I love these because they have the big P logo at the center of it. So very cool, and another old piece. Well, I had to go pretty deep for this one, about 10, 11 inches. Finally broke it loose. I knew it was iron, but it was curved, and I just wanted to pull it out. I love digging old iron. And yeah, I don't know if I got another horseshoe or what, but that's it right there. I think I got it broken loose finally. Oh yeah, check that out. Beautiful. Very nice. Boy, that was down there too. Man, I wish I could travel back in time and see this place. It was just been covered with people and horses and Model Ts, and it's just awesome. Well, you're not going to believe this. I was pretty surprised. I pulled that horseshoe out, checked the hole, got a little hit with my pinpointer, ran the coil over it, and it was giving me a 52. And I had to go down another 4 inches, so I'm well over a foot. And look, underneath that one, I think there's another one. So I'm going to pull it out all the way. Oh man, check that out. I don't know, I can't tell you the last time I pulled 2 horseshoes out of one hole. Look at that. How cool is that? That's amazing. And I better check this hole again, huh? I am getting a hit. I'm going to have to keep working on it. Maybe it was the 2 good luck horseshoes hiding the gold coin. I'll find out. But that's amazing. Well, I'm glad I'm out in the field. Because I really wanted to dig this one out. Well, I got the 2 horseshoes. And finally, about 14 inches, somewhere there, I had to go get my shovel to pry this one out. And just by the looks of it, I think I have a mule shoe. Let's see. Oh, look at this. There was that round rock stuck between it. Yep, sure as heck. A mule shoe. That is amazing. So there you go. Mule shoe, horseshoe, horseshoe. Let me see if that gold coin's down here. I'll have to see what that is, but it doesn't sound as big as the others. But hey, 3 shoes, 1 hole. As Scooby-Doo would say, that's rot to ruck. Well, I tell you, this is a wild hole. There was more. I had to continue the hole down here. I'm just cutting the sod out as I go. By the time I get done, it'll look beautiful. But there were 2 things, one on top of another. And I got the one that was on the bottom first. Check it out, it's an old coil spring. Now that could have been probably to the buggy seat on the wagon. And so that's kind of cool. And then the one that's on top of it, I think I got another shoe, which is just amazing. There it is right there. Took me a while to get it broken loose. Yep, sure as heck. Wow, number 4. Wow. Check that out. That's a collection of iron. And I don't know if I even want to do this. Let's see. Oh, it keeps going. Well, here we go. Well, I had to widen the hole, or extend the hole even more. And I also pulled out a pretty cool old piece of bottle right there. So I was digging away, had a signal here too. And this is something else, but it's iron. But check it out. Look what slid out. A big old serving spoon. Look at that. That is too cool. Oh, what a hole. This is nuts. All right, we're going to try it again. This is nuts, isn't it? Yeah, right down here, there's another piece of iron. All right. Well, this is quite the long segment, but I'm having fun. Hope you are too, and I'll be right back. Well, this has to be the craziest hole I've dug in a while. I almost call it a hoard. I had to dig down a little further, and I saw something long and narrow, and I kept prying on it. And look at this thing. Look at this, was in the hole too now. Check that out. That is awesome. Wow. That would definitely take care of Dracula. My gosh, that thing is huge. So, I'll tell you what, if you like iron like I do, that's our kind of hole. Do I dare fire the pinpointer up one more time? I'm thinking I got it all. Has to be, right? I got a signal there, not sure. I'll play around with it, and but man, this has been pretty wild. So, quick recap: 4 horseshoes, a piece of old medicine bottle, iron serving spoon, a buggy seat coil, this huge spike, whatever it is, and the last target turned out just to be these, and I think those 2 pretty much nail it. I've checked it. I have no more signals. But boy, what a fun hole. And that's one that I'm definitely going to remember. Well, there you go. All looking brand new. It started up there and came all the way down to here. So I got all the sod back, all the dirt back in it. And honestly, I don't think you'd even know I was there. So, very cool hole, and there's the treasure. Well, I think I might have gotten one. I was getting a 50 signal, and it was pretty darn deep. I mean, not crazy, but, 8 inches. And it kept saying it was at the bottom of the plug, and I kept fishing around, and I finally got something old looking and round. You see it right there? So, I don't know yet. I'm praying it's not a zinc. I don't think so. It's really deep. Let's see. I figured we'd find out together. I'm hoping Indian, because that's one thing I found a lot of here. Boy, sure ringing low. It feels really crusty too. I just don't know what to say. Really tough to make out. I hate to do it, but I think I'm going to have to turn the camera off and clean it up. Not sure what this is exactly, but I'll be right back and we'll find out. Well, that was one of the lowest ringing, crustiest wheat pennies I've ever seen. I can just make out 1 cent in the wheat ear on this side. It is in rough shape. I'll see if I can get a date off it later, but hey, there's still a coin or two out here. Well, this one was giving me a 58 to 62. Yeah, I kind of got my hopes up for an Indian head. But it didn't turn out to be one, but it's kind of cool too. It's sticking with the theme of this place. Yep, Model T valve stem retainer. Little retaining nut. That is amazing. I tell you, they must have had so many old Model Ts parked in this field. It's just insane, the amount of Model T parts I've pulled from this place. And here's one more for the collection. Well, this one was giving me a 44. Nice repeatable signal. It was definitely on the Ferris scale on my screen. And but I'm like, I've been having so much fun digging iron out here. I figure let's see what this one is and check it out. It's very unusual. Check that out. A little curve to it. A little diamond shaped head with a hole through it. That is pretty cool. I don't know if it's some kind of a tooth on a farm equipment or not quite sure, but I like it. It's pretty darn neat. Well, this one was ringing in right around 67, 69. I dug down and yeah, I got another old coin in the hole. So, oh yeah, no doubt about that. Nice old weedy right there. Take a look at that. Hopefully, be able to get a date off it. I'm sure I will. Yeah, this is nice and green. I'll tell you, this place is panning out. Tell you what, let me get this cleaned up a little bit and I'll come right back. And we'll see what date it is, but it's a beautiful green penny. Well, hopefully you can see it. This one's a really beautiful weedy, not like that last crusty one. This one's beautiful. Green, 1920 Philadelphia mint. Absolutely awesome little coin right there. Very happy with that, and I'm going to keep on going and see what else is here. Well, I got a deep iron signal here. I just can't believe it. I reached down and I felt it. It's about 10 inches down. Okay, here it is. Look at that. What the heck? I might have to start filming them. This is like the third one. I have no idea why there's so many up here right now. A very long ways away from the railroad. But people used them for all kinds of purposes. But here we go. Another cool train picture. Well, I think I did it this time. I was getting a 58 to 62. It was a nice sound signal, so I dug a plug and fished around the dirt for a while, and out popped something nice and round, and I saw a flash of green, so I'm hoping that this one's going to be an Indian. We'll find out pretty quick. Oh, I can tell you already. You can see the wreath right on the right hand side there. Heck yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, I love these coins. Love digging up Indians. Man, this one's beautiful too. Look at that. Hopefully this, oh my gosh, look at this side. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't even have to wipe it. Wow. What's that say, 1900? That'd be awesome. Yep, sure as heck. 1900 on the dot. How cool is that? Imagine how neat it must have been when you went from the 1800s and you saw your first coin with a 1900 date on it. So very cool. I'm definitely very happy. Heck yeah. Yep, this old spot still had some things, and yeah, I think it was high time to bring the Manticore over here and see what it could find. So totally thrilled with this one, and what a beautiful penny. Well, I wanted to thank Buddy Henson for reminding me about this great spot. The Minelab Manticore was amazing out there, and it really turned in to be a very memorable day of detecting. Now, stick around for just a few more seconds because I have some incredible American history still to share with you. And at the very end of this episode, I have a link to another great Finding America episode. And this episode takes place at this very same spot when I first found it. Now, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. And remember, it's history that makes a find a treasure. And I can't wait to see you back here next week on Finding America.